Ladies, gentlemen, boys, and girls of all ages, welcome to the Holy City for another part of SFL Sunday Night Action. We are here to see the Charleston Predators take on the visiting Minnesota Legend. Those rampaging Sasquatches are on the loose once again. We will see how they can contain these here-shoot monsters. I am Alex Weston. With me in the booth here is none other than Chad Rowland. Chad, how are you feeling tonight, sir?
Doing pretty good, Alex. It's going to be a great game here between two really good teams.
Couldn't agree more. We are in for one where the record does not tell everything there is to look at. This Charleston Predators team does have the #1 strength of victory in the SFL. They have beaten the Denver Nightwings just this past week in a 2-score game, and that same Nightwings team defeated the Legends. So if there's someone that might have the kryptonite, if it's good enough for the goose, it could also kill the gander. So everyone get in cozy.
Yeah, I mean, Charleston, even though they are 3-7, they've beaten 3 teams that have got over 6 wins: Denver, Queen City, and Carolina.
No doubt about it. This is one that you can't turn your head away from. Don't even think about touching that dial. You're here in for an hour and a half as Mickey Melillo absolutely blasts one out of the end zone for the kickoff. Let's introduce this Charleston Predators offense headed by Iman Kopech. Also looking at Ian Francis, Nick Hoagland, Brad Taylor-Wright, the fullbacks and halfback core. Wide receivers Doug Spelling, Nick Twice, Michael Knight, and Doug Britton. And after this play, Kopech back to pass, looking, throwing, right side, and that is off the hands of his intended target. That's Doug Spelling, who got plastered.
Yeah, just wanted to come out firing on that first play by Kopech there. And had a nice little target in Doug Spelling, but just kind of through the hands. Wonder if the defense really, the footsteps behind him made him drop that pass, Alex.
Could be entirely possible.
Now we're looking at a 2nd and 10 with an eye spread look. Kopech handing it off. This one goes nowhere. Too much traffic at the line of scrimmage, and now it's 3rd and long.
Yeah, just this Minnesota team has always had great run defense, and Nicholas Frost are right there showing why. All of their corners and safeties can make tackles, and it's really tough when you're a running team trying to go up against this defense.
Now a critical moment here. 3rd and 10, all eyes on Kopech. Number 5 rolls to his right, has time, fires, hits his man in stride. There's a first down. The chains will move along.
Yeah, and just extending plays. That is something that Kopech does, and does a terrific job here, rolling out to his right and just finding that backup tight end there, Walker, on a little bit of an out route right there, and just gets enough for the first down. Great play there by Charleston.
Taking a moment here to introduce the rest of this Charleston receiving core. The tight ends, Leon Sandcastle and Xavier Solomon. The lines made up of Perrin Ibarra, Benny Franklin, Leroy James, Finley James, and Mahalanir Hopper. Shout out to you Wheel of Time nerds who know who that is. Tight end going in motion here from right to left. Xavier Solomon wants some action here. 1st and 10, single back. Kopech tosses to the right. Oh, it's blown up in the backfield. The swarm finally gets in the back.
Yeah, and that was led by a Meerkat. Who else, right? You get Meerkat out there on the edge and was able to get that first hit there, and then Alvarado was there to clean it up. Great play.
2nd and 11 here. Dime front against an ace quads package. Here to pass is Kopech. Has time. Throwing to the right side. Hits the running back under the outlet pass. That is a very tough catch. Lowering the shoulder is Ian Francis to force his way across that first down marker.
Yeah, it just, everybody was kind of, covered downfield and just hitting that check down. You got to make sure you got to have a little check down there, and Kopech finds him, gets a nice game for a first down.
Now with a fresh set, their line of scrimmage touching the edge of the logo from the 45. Kopech hands the right side. Oh, met in the hole is Jason Clay, winning that Oklahoma drill. Only 1 yard gain.
Yeah, just, stuffing that right there, just a yard gain there. This defense, this front 7 is really good, Alex.
Can't speak enough about them. Let's talk about a few of them. Angela Meerkat and Mark Mello, the ends. Chloe Meerkat and Max Knight, the front 4. Back to pass is Kopech, the rest coming. But there's another hit. This front 4 is marauding. Chloe Meerkat this time picks up the sack on 3rd and 14.
And as we talked about, we already talked about one Meerkat. Let's talk about the other Meerkat, and just able to get in there and just break through that offensive line. Charleston always priding themselves on that offensive line. Didn't hold up right there. So good play there by that Minnesota front four.
Indeed. Now the linebacking core, Matthew Alvarado, Stephen Black, and Jason Clay getting their regards, along with Stephon Forge. 3rd and 14 here with 3 receivers to the right-hand side, being matched up in man. Kopech will roll to the right. The pressure is coming. He fires. Oh, just too much mustard on that one.
Yeah, and that was, I don't know about the decision there. I don't know about the decision there by Kopech. I mean, he rolls out to his right, and every single receiver down there was just covered. Not sure if he maybe should have maybe tried to take that. I know it's 4th and long or 3rd and long, but might have had an opportunity if he would have just used his legs there.
Might have, could have, should have, would have, but giving credit to the secondary where it's due. David Leathers, Nicholas Frossel, Johnny Bravo, Slim Shady, Jubilee Marsh, and Derek Meerkat comprise that Minnesota secondary, and they had everyone blanketed. Punt goes, is decent return. Minnesota will have the opportunity to work off of their own 35. And looking at number 13, Johnny Reno, one of the busier quarterbacks in the SFL in previous seasons, having a bit of a lower chance in terms of how much they're asking to throw the football, but that's just because they've got an incredible rushing attack. And there we see a flash of it, the carry by Robert Henson Jr., the fullback.
Yeah, I mean, they have 3 terrific backs, right? Isaac Knox, Colin Hart, and Robert Henson Jr., and really nice to see Henson get some early play here.
Definitely love to see them getting him involved. This is a jumbo front, all kinds of people on the line, and it'll be a run to the weak side. All kinds of lead blockers. Oh, wow. Just too easy for Colin Hart, who got across the first down marker before he was even touched.
I mean, this is a team that is averaging 123 yards rushing per game, 8th in the SFL, so we're already seeing it here early.
And now this is Reno's moment to shine. Throwing over the middle, hits his man. There's a quick 8-yard pickup, finding E.J. Minson over the middle.
Yep, E.J. Minson, former Florida Storm player, won a few titles, coming over here to Minnesota and really helped solidify that wide receiver core.
2nd and 2 here, playbook wide open. Will be a run to the right for Knox, who does not. Oh, no, he does. Somehow, Colin Hart gets his shoulder lowered, keeps his legs churning, and that's what a 5-time All-Star will do for you.
Yeah, I mean, I still have nightmares of Colin Hart back in the Sioux Falls days. And, you know, just seeing him still keeping doing this over and over again, I mean, just shows the longevity that Hart has had.
Certainly one-of-a-kind career, and even more potential for records today. Run up the gut goes only for 1, though. Not a whole lot of opportunity to get more push there.
Yeah, and this is a guy that really made a great play here. One of my favorite linebackers, Khalil Thomas, very underrated in the SFL.
Bunch right, single back against a dime front for Charleston, who looks like they're sending man. Throwing to the right is Reno, who hits E.J. Minson in stride again. All kinds of contact, but he's not afraid of that.
Nope, and just finding that good target right there with E.J. Minson. I mean, you talk about other people involved. You know, you got Jason France and Deezer Powell on this team, but E.J. Minson is getting a hot hand early on.
Introducing some of these wide receivers before we see this drive end. It's Queegman, Deezer Powell, Jay Taylor, and E.J. Minson comprise the wide receivers core. Only one tight end, that's Jason France. Hand off to the right for Colin Hart, who gets taken down the backfield for a loss of 1. Not a great push there from the offensive line. Brookie Byrne and Axel Raven, the tackles. Carly Forge and Griffin King, the guards. Ruthie Raven, the center. And there's your Minnesota offense looking at 2nd and 11 here. From the 28. 3 receivers in total, shifting all of them to that left side, overloading it. Will be Reno looking to pass. Throwing over the middle, finds his man, but it bounces off the hands of Jason France, who's normally very sure in that regard.
Yeah, that's a rare drop, and I mean, France is always one of those guys that's just very dependable, has just glue-like hands, right? But did not come down with it there, and it's now going to be a very interesting play call here on 3rd and 11.
with 3 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. It's a 1 back in the backfield looking at a dime front. E.J. Minson going from left to right. Charleston broadcasting zone. Could still be man. Reno to pass. And he's sacked! Absolutely blown up in the backfield. What a play!
And that's who I was talking about earlier, what I feel like is one of the more underrated linebackers in the SFL, Khalil Thomas. He just silently makes plays, and there's another one right there to add to the record.
Not only is that the kind of play that snuffs out the drive, it also turns what could have been a field goal attempt for Mickey Melillo into a forced punt. We know he's got a huge leg, so for them to force the punt here is a huge concession. Great job by the Charleston defense, who I haven't even gotten to list out their names yet.
Yeah, Charleston, like I said, I mean, they've beaten teams that are what you would call playoff quality teams right now. And, you know, even though they're 3-7, this is a very good team. You got to be careful when you're playing against them.
Cannot relax even for a second as Kopech looks to take over from the 17-yard line. Toss play to the right-hand side. All kinds of space for his running backs. He picks up 3. That'll keep you relatively on schedule, but it feels like a missed opportunity to cut up field there.
Yeah, Nick Hoagland, this is the bell cow of this team, right? 132 carries coming into this game today. Usually averages about 3.5 yards a carry. Does a pretty decent job with it, but Charleston's hoping to get those numbers even higher today.
Xavier Solomon going in motion to the right side. Lots of action on that strong side of the formation, but it'll be a pass. Blitz coming off the weak side, and he's breaking a tackle. It's Kopech, but he gets wrapped up. Not once, but twice, but there are enough legends in the backfield to bring him down.
Yeah, I thought for a second there that Kopech was just going to make a really good play, but it looked like the offensive lineman right there who was blocking Meerkat just gave up there a little bit on the end and started blocking somebody else and let that Meerkat go free. So interesting decision there by the offensive lineman. Now it's 3rd and long.
3rd and very long. Kopech has to pass, rolling, fires off his back foot on the move, and that one is just underthrown a little bit. Too easy for the Minnesota secondary lurking to get their hands on it.
Yeah, and that was intended for Doug Britton there. Doug Britton, you know, one of the premier wide receivers in this game, not only on the wide, you know, the offensive side, but special teams as well. And now Charleston's going to have to play the field position game here.
They certainly are, and this is not where you want to set up, especially considering the only reason they avoided a field goal on the last drive was a huge 3rd down sack that pushed Minnesota just outside of field goal range. Punt goes for basically nothing. Minnesota will take over on their own side of the field, or on Charleston's side of the field, just because their defense is an exceptional job. 1st and 10 here. Reno under center. Back offset. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Tight end on the strong side of the formation. Looking against a dime. Run up the gut, though. Plenty of space for Robert Henson Jr., who picks up 4, playing at the power back now.
Yeah, and Henson just, you know, maybe this is a key thing we're going to be seeing here tonight. Robert Henson getting some love early on.
Might see a little bit more of that. Let's introduce this Charleston defense after this play. 2nd and 6. A tight eye formation with only 1 receiver on the left side. Charleston packing the box in response. 8 black jerseys in front of the line to gain. 9 jerseys make it.
Yeah, might be bringing the heat.
Tension his deck. Going strong side. Broken tackle. Oh, he's in space. Away he goes. It's a foot race. Colin Hart is broken away and gets the first points of the game. Touchdown, Legend.
Yeah, and this is something that you see Colin Hart do time and time again. Charleston bringing in the idea they know it's going to be a run, so they try to bring 8-9 men in the box. And Colin Hart, he's more of a power back, but when you think about it, he's got some pretty good speed, and he's able to just get to the outside, break a tackle, and get 6 points.
Just because he's strong doesn't mean he's slow. 5'10", 200 pounds, but every bit of him is pure muscle. Colin Hart rumbles for 37 yards to the strong side after an incredible job blocking by the front squad.
Yeah, and just, again, I mean, when you look at it, I mean, the blocking up front there by Minnesota has been fantastic. And And like we said, I mean, Hart is a 5-time All-Star for a reason. He has done that numerous times. You would think you're going to try to get Hart in the middle. He switches to the outside and gets 6 points on you.
Kick is away. It will be touched back. Charleston with the opportunity to answer here as we've got 1:31 left here in the first quarter. Minnesota only up by 1. Both defenses coming to play, but really I feel Minnesota's defense setting up that short field and one breakout play by an all-star that just makes magic happen. It starts with the defense. We'll see what they can do here. 4-3 against that single back with doubles tight ends to the right. Oh, and there's a one broken tackle. Hoagland can't get away from the second, though. Too many green jerseys in the area.
Yeah, I mean, as you were talking about this defense, right? Minnesota 3rd in the SFL in scoring defense, 16.1 a game, 9th against the pass, 2nd against the run. I mean, this is a team that is just very stout when it comes to defense.
2nd and 10 here. Kopech looking, blitz coming, but he throws off the seam, almost intercepted. There was someone lurking there, a safety in particular. Looked like that was
Derek that's Derek Meerkat. Yeah, there's a lot of them, right? You know, you look out in the field there and you see one little Meerkat head pop up and another Meerkat head pops up. They're just like, you know, popping up all over the place.
People are saying there are too many Wests in the SFL. Are you kidding me? The Meerkats have already taken over. We're just looking to move in. 3rd and 10 here. Big 3rd down moment. Charleston really needs to answer. They can't afford to fizzle here. Rolling to his right is Kopech. Throws to his left. That's a completion. Broken tackle. Can he turn upfield again? Line to gain. And then some more. What a play here in a critical 3rd and down moment, and Doug Spelling answers.
I mean, first off, that's always a scary throw, right? I mean, Iman Kopech, 3 seasons in the league. This is his 2nd season starting, and throwing across the body like that is something you don't want to do. But Doug Spelling making a tremendous play. There should have been a tackle right there, but he's able to break it, get the 1st down and more.
Doug Spelling is 6'6" and is 222 going up against Johnny Bravo, 6'3", 225. Just using those extra 3 inches to box him out and make himself able to catch that ball leaning away. What a job. 1st and 10 here for Kopech, who rolls to the right again. Throws as the pressure comes. Hits his man in stride. There's his target in the seam. First catch for Xavier Solomon today.
Yep, and that's who they call Weapon X, right? Xavier Solomon, one of the top draft choices in his class when he came out, and just rolling out to his right and just with 3 defenders around him was able to make the play.
Now across midfield, Charleston threatening here, looking to score back. Operating off the 37, under center is Kopech. 2 receivers to the right-hand side, tossing to the left. There's some excellent blocking and 1 broken tackle for 7 yards on 1st down. There is some establishing authority. Nick Hoagland's best run of the night. And there is your first quarter. It's been back and forth, but both defenses have been involved. Minnesota up on top, 7-0. Welcome back to Chuck City. I am Alex West. In the booth with me is none other than the inimitable Chad Rowland. Thank you again to Jacob Clear, who's in the truck alongside Cameron Irvine, SFL commissioner. Now from the 30-yard line is Iman Kopech, tossing to left side to Hoagland, who breaks 1 tackle but can't break another one. This is a makeup moment for Johnny Bravo, who gets the TFL.
Yeah, it's really interesting that they're really going heavily on Hoagland here. And I mean, you know, they got to get that run game. They got to get a spark going with it. And maybe, you know, bidding in Brad Taylor Ryder Francis might help a little bit too.
Could be one of those 2 ways. 3rd and 5 here, though. Feels like a pass. Nickel front from Minnesota. They agree. It will be a pass. Kopech has time. Throws it, intercepted. It's going the other way. Underneath, he short arms it. And Matthew Alvarado is there.
Yeah, and there's Matthew Alvarado right there. Like we talked about, this front 7 of Minnesota is one of the best in the business, right? And there shows you the reason why. Their linebackers not only can get pressure and stop the run, but they're able to do stuff like that where they actually have hands that can make plays for them.
Completely reading the eyes of the quarterback, understood that Kopech had only so much time and knew where that underneath route was going to be. Minnesota now has an opportunity to take advantage. What was looking to be a promising Charleston drive to score points is suddenly the Legends' golden opportunity to extend the lead. Run to the left side for Hart, who breaks one tackle, has open space. He's in a foot race, and he's across midfield to the 35-yard line. Can anyone stop Colin Hart?
I mean, the answer right now, Alex, is no. I mean, as of right now, nobody can. But it looked like right here that some of these Charleston guys got kind of caught up with each other right there a little bit. Jacob Clear able to get around and make the tackle, but Colin Hart already did enough damage going down the field there.
Only two men to beat Jacob Clear and John Stamengo. Those two guys are the only black jerseys standing between Hart and pay dirt. 1st and 10 here from the 35. It'll be a toss to left side this time for Henson, who gets brought down at the line to gain. Take a moment here to introduce this Predators defense. Forrest Dalton and Dan Dash, the ends. Frank Doom and Anthony Ellison and John Nevels, the tackles. Jamal Ballard, Khalil Thomas, and Ben Bowman, the linebacker. The rest coming after this play. Reno looking to pass, scrambling to his left. He will take it a run, and he'll get hit at the line, but actually just before the line. So that is a sack. Credit it to Miranda Dumas.
Yeah, I mean, just, having a corner, the Charleston defense getting a little aggressive there, sending a corner blitz. Dumas was right there to make the play. Makes it a 3rd and long for Minnesota.
3rd and long, outside of field goal range, unless Mickey is feeling particularly froggy. Reno will take the play action, has time, throws deep, almost finds his man number 80, but there's just too many black jerseys in the way. 4th down. Great job by the secondaries. We'll mention them here. Jacob Clear, Miranda Dumas, Brandon Ewing, Leo Morris, the corners, Matt Ryan and Sam Blotner, and John Stamengo, the safety.
Yeah, just great job there by the defense to force a punt.
Speaking of punting, there is the Sasquatch himself getting the leg out there. Will be called for a fair catch, folks. Rooms are going fast for the 2025 SFL convention. It's kicking off the league's 25th anniversary season, July 10th to the 13th. If you want to go, you need to book your stay now. Join SFL Nation at the rooftop pool of our host hotel, the Hyatt Regency. You can reserve your room now at the special group rate at simfl.net. Kopech taking over on the 16-yard line, will look to pass. Fires up the seam, finds his target. One broken tackle, 2 more have to arrive. But what a first establishing play to Doug Britton.
Yeah, and Doug Britton getting his first catch of the game right there. Just a nice route, get the inside leverage, makes the play, and a big first down there for Charleston.
An instant spark, getting them outside of an awful field position. You already won the field position battle starting here. Now can you actually score some points? You need to. You're down. Sending a man in motion. It's going to be weapon X again on the left side. Kopech passing out of the eye, throwing up the seam again, finds a target. There's so many black jerseys, it could have been anyone. But Michael Knight with a catch and a first down.
Now you're starting to see Charleston really get their other targets involved, right? You had a catch earlier for Xavier Solomon. Now you got Doug Britton, his first catch. Michael Knight's his first catch. So this offense is getting spread around here. I like what Iman Kopech's doing.
Couldn't agree more. He really is finding everyone. He's looking in every direction. The only people he hasn't thrown to are Nick Twice and Leon Sandcastle. 1st and 10. 2 receivers to the right. Single back. Tight ends on either side. Kopech rolling to his right. Throwing to his right. Almost intercepted. There was a corner lurking there.
Yeah, I mean, that was just a great play. David Leathers, who's been, a veteran in this league for quite some time, almost had an opportunity. Really, if he would have caught that, Alex, he would have been gone for 6.
Couldn't agree more. There was no one in between him, only green grass ahead. Maybe maybe his eyes got a little bit too big there. Plenty of Sasquatches in the box, matching up against the Charleston front against his 2nd and 10. It's a stiff arm attempt for Hoagland, who gets met at the line of scrimmage, leans forward to get 2 on the friendly spot. But the secondary and the linebacking core don't allow any more than that.
Yeah, and I mean, this has always been kind of a pain point here with the Charleston offense is this rushing offense attack, right? 84 yards per game, 21st in the SFL. It's hard to get that going when you're, having some issues there.
Now on third down, Kopech has to pass, throws incomplete. Man coverage, manned up all the way downfield, and no one could get separation. 4th and 8, and a couple of big explosive plays ultimately go for nothing.
Yeah, and when when you're going up against this Minnesota team, I mean, you got to win first and second down, right? Even if it's just 4 yards at a time. That way you're set yourself up 3rd and short instead of 3rd and long.
Great punt by Cameron Duty, and that's fumbled. That's picked up by Charleston, who score on special teams. Are you kidding me?
Wow, I mean, that is just, I don't even know how you talk about that, Alex. I mean, the opportunity was there. I mean, look at Cameron Duty making the nice punt here, but I'm not sure exactly who's back there. That may have been E.J. Minson, and it was E.J. Minson, a veteran. That is a rookie move by E.J. Minson, and he, of all people, should know better than that. But what a play there for Charleston to jump back into this ball game.
And it was a fair catch too. He just had to secure it. Instead, he tries to have to make that catch. We got to give some credit to number 8 here, Cameron Duty, for the special teams punt of the night to go put that one where EJ had the gall to go get it, but just outside of arm's reach. And now he is responsible, in my eyes, for all 7 Charleston points.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I mean, he just made a good punt trying to pin them down deep in their own territory. But, Minson has got to try to be better about being able to secure the ball there.
Minson very upset after that punt return, decides to let off some of his frustrations with a nifty little kick return, managed to get that one out to the 36-yard line. This is already shaping up to be a very tight contest so far. I hope it stays this way.
Yeah, we'll just see how Charleston, reacts to that now. I mean, their defense has got to step up here. I mean, they've done a good job when it gets close to the red zone, but right now they got to step up here and make a big play.
Weak eye set, spread against a nickel front for Charleston. Reno will hand off up the gut. Colin Hart is unstoppable today. Across midfield, he rampages. How on earth are you supposed to contain this man whenever the Minnesota offense can force you into soft inside coverages by spreading out their receiving core?
Yeah, see, this is something that I think Charleston's offense needs to take notes of what Minnesota's doing here. That run game is setting themselves up for success, and that's what you got to have in this league in order to be successful.
Looking again, nickel front. It'll be a run to the right side, and that one does not go for much. Wow. Never mind. What do I know? This man is built different. Isaac Knox, 6'3", 235, just shoves his way forward after 2 yards gained to go get another 4. 2nd and 4 with an eye. Plenty of men in the box. And it will be a run to the right side for Colin Hart, who breaks a tackle, gets hung up on his own blocker, or else he could have had more. Jay Taylor's shoulders just a little too broad.
Yeah, I mean, the hole was right there, but I think just because of the blocking and the way they were moving around, he just kind of got caught up a little bit there. But, I mean, Hart just making another fantastic play.
See how many more he has in him tonight. 3rd and 2, run to the left side for Knox, who gets the first down. Looks like he got about 3 on that one, but they only needed 2. Who cares? The clock continues to wind down. Minnesota wants to work as much off of the clock as they can before they have to give the ball back to Charleston. Looking at a nickel against a single back, 3 receiver set. It's going to be a run left side. Knox spins. Hart spins once, twice. Gets away from people once, can't get away from the pursuit the second time. Khalil Thomas was the only man to beat.
Yeah, and just, here we are showing again what Hart can do, right? I mean, just a nice little just off-tackle run, and he just makes it into a big gain.
And it's what seems like completely closed running lanes that he's finding space to maneuver in as well. That's the really impressive part for me, is how well he's able to dance around in those tight spaces. Toss play to the right side, this time for Henson Jr., who gets blown up after only about a yard. A little bit of frustration there from John Stamengo, who comes up to lay the wood.
Yeah, I mean, Semengo that's a hard hit by the strong safety there.
250 pounds. Are we sure that he doesn't take snaps at linebacker? I'm unconvinced. Run to the left side for Colin Hart, who finally gets brought down in the Oklahoma drill. Sam Blotner says, too fancy with the footwork there.
Yeah, I mean, Blotner, coming up from the free safety side, 7th-season veteran, finally made an all-star game back in season 22, and for good reason. I mean, he is a really good free safety that nobody really talks about.
Big third down here from the 19-yard line. 4 receivers against a dime look. Reno will pass, throws over the middle, hits his man. 1 broken tackle, but no more. He does manage to find the reception for Jay Taylor over the middle, but John Stamengo wraps this one up and forces a field goal.
Yeah, just a nice play there. I mean, just trying to get some closer yards, I think, for Mickey was that play design there, and that's what they're going to do, bring out Mickey Malillo.
Plenty closer, not that he needs it. That man can hit a 40-plus yarder with ease, and this one he sinks home. Minnesota takes the lead again. 2:36 left to go, but only 3-point lead this time, so Charleston has the opportunity to come back before the half.
Yeah, just Charleston's got an opportunity here to try to take some momentum with this home crowd into the half, Alex. You're absolutely right.
Kick is away. Malillo does get under that one, but I think we've got a strong crosswind going tonight. There's some open space, a little bit of a seam found, some extra yardage gained through some nice little stepping from Doug Britton. Well, let's look at this yardage and see how Colin Hart's total offensive production of 110 yards tonight is more than all of what Charleston's passing yards has been able to gain. That's insane.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Colin Hart, has just been a man alive. 12.2 yards per carry. I mean, that's going to do it for you.
And only 9 carries. He's got over 100 yards, and he hasn't even hit 10 carries. Unbelievable. 34-yard line is where Kopech is lining up against a 4-3. He will be back to pass. He'll throw to the right side, hits his man, but I don't even know if he gained much. He gains about a yard, they say. Weapon X just barely across the line of scrimmage before he is wrapped up. And I think we might have one more play before the 2-minute warning.
Yeah, and that's something that the deep drops, they could really do that, is just get not very much yardage if completed.
Another pass for Kopech, who fires out of the eye. Oh, it's over the middle. Too many green jerseys there. Really lucky that it was just batted down instead of snatched away. Stephon Forge plays it safe. The former Nightwing decides to not take to the skies.
Man, and you think about all the guys on this front seven, and Stephon Forge is so good in his career. We haven't even mentioned him tonight until just now. So just amazing front seven built here by Minnesota.
Indeed. 3rd and 9 here for Kopech, who rolls to the left, fires, does find a one-handed grab, and there it is. Doug Britton with this critical 3rd down catch, and there is your nice hands catch of the game, brought to you by Retroid. Put a Retroid handheld in your hands and play the only video game with your player in it, SFL 4K 23. And that is the 2-minute warning. Charleston trying to march downfield to take the lead or at least equalize before the half. Tension so thick in the stadium you could cut it with a knife, and a butter knife at that. The home faithful here in Robert Smalls Memorial Stadium on their feet. Kopech rolling to the right, throwing to the left. Rough hit by David Leathers jars that ball loose. No completion there, 2nd attempt.
Yeah, it looked like Johnny Bravo was there on the coverage, and just, as you mentioned, I mean, just a hard hit to jar that loose and, sets up 2nd down.
Bravo has been a menace tonight all over the field. 2 receivers to the left-hand side, and Bravo is there again. Sandcastle going in motion, going from hand on the ground to hand on the ground out wide. Kopech will pass again. Throws over the middle. Almost intercepted once again. Matthew Alvarado lurking, looking. He's hungry.
Yeah, he already had that one pick earlier and almost had another one right there. I mean, these linebackers, you talk about ball hawking safeties, but these guys are also ball hawkers as well.
Underneath is not a safe place to be. This middle of the field has not been a soft spot for many so far. Kopech has recognized it, throwing to the left side, and there's another bone-crunching hit delivered. Nick Twice being looked for, but hit so hard he could never have a chance to hang on to it.
And I mean, that is from somebody that has been in this league for quite some time. Slyn Shady, I mean, a 13-season veteran, 7-time All-Star, normally from the linebacker position, moving over to safety here in Minnesota, and just, again, unbelievable of the talent that this Minnesota defense has.
Long high kick for Cameron Duty pins Minnesota way back. EJ does get a return off on this one, but not for a whole lot. So now Johnny Reno has all 3 timeouts and just under 2 minutes to work with because Charleston did not get any meaningful progress. They just more or less hit a 3 and out after a couple of dinky passes, and now there's plenty of time left. Reno under center, 2 receivers to the left, 1 right. Leah handoff. Nowhere to go for Colin Hart, who gets brought down in the backfield for the first time tonight. Big Frank Doon puts this one back in the backfield. And is Minnesota just going to take this to the half?
I mean, and they might, and Big Frank Doom, 8th overall selection in this past draft, making a big play right there.
Love him both on and off the field, doing some coaching in Boston. Overall, a great personality. And there it is, another swarm of Charleston Predators absolutely devouring Johnny Reno as he tries to fall back.
Yep, and there was Dan Dash right there, the defensive end, right? Made an all-star back in season 22. I believe he might have been part of the Queen City Corsairs at that time when he made that all-star team. But just a great play there, back-to-back plays by the Charleston defense, makes it 3rd and long.
Both ends coming around each end as a couple of heat-seeking missiles forcing 3rd and 17. Reno gets hit again! 2 sacks back-to-back, and there's the drive. Will Charleston call a timeout?
I mean, we talked about the front 4 of Minnesota, but what about the front 4 here? 3 straight plays. That was Forrest Dalton this time, coming in there and making the sack. Dalton, a guy that, if I remember correctly as well, was a part of the old Jacksonville franchise and made some great plays over there back in his prime.
A lot of old heads coming back to show the young Bucks what is up. And under the brightest of lights. Punt is away. Fair catch will not be called. We return. Doug Spelling wanted some action but didn't get much. Now with 7 seconds left, Charleston might elect to bomb it here. I think we have 1, maybe 2 more plays before we go into the half.
Yeah, I mean, I can see Charleston try to take a shot here. I mean, it wouldn't be a bad idea.
Would not be the worst. They do have 3 timeouts, but they don't have time to use all 3 of them. So get a quick hitter and try to get within range of Cameron Duty, who is still a rookie. Kopech will take off with it, but he'll get hit behind the line from behind the line, carried forward across the line, gets 1 yard out of that. Timeout called by Charleston, 2 seconds left. Now this really is the last play. No chance for Cameron to get involved at all. It's Kopech or bust. Out of the shotgun, 3 receivers on the right-hand side. With time, but the blitz is coming. Lobs it up there, way downfield. It's caught! But they can't get across the line of scrimmage. Doug Spelling, if he could have forced his way through, he could have had pay dirt.
Yeah, I've been just trying to add some fireworks here towards the end of the first half. They were able to complete that pass the first play. They might have been able to get a timeout call to get Cameron Duty out there for 3 points to tie it. But, I mean, nevertheless, it's a nice little momentum thing for Charleston to go at the halftime.
Woulda, coulda, shoulda. Getting close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades, and this here is football. Minnesota up on top by only 3. Chad, what are you seeing, and what do we need to see in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, really the story is just going to be Colin Hart, right? I mean, this run game from Minnesota, we've always known it's been really good, and it's showing up tonight. Here, 10 carries, 109 yards, and a touchdown, including that 37-yarder he had early on. But, you know, Charleston, I mean, this is a team that is not very good against the run. They've got to get that front seven involved. You saw them in the last drive there, Alex. Forrest Dalton, Frank Doom, and then getting in the backfield, making havoc. That's what they got to do in the second half. I think Charleston needs to bring the heat, bring the pressure, try to get Reno uncomfortable, and try to get Colin Hart shut down.
Insightful stuff there. And let's take a halftime break presented to you by Brakes GPT.
We just pulled a full-size Taylor Swift helmet. Shout out to all our Swifties. Travis Kelce. This is a Giants Lawrence Taylor.
Patrick Mahomes.
Chad Johnson with the Ocho Cinco.
We have a Drew Brees.
Is that an O.J. Simpson jersey?
It's an Aaron Rodgers.
Oh my goodness.
Tom Brady! Tom Brady!
Break into the world of sports memorabilia collecting with Brakes GPT, featuring signed football jerseys, helmets, photos, and more. Brakes GPT offers you the shot at winning autographed and authenticated sports memorabilia at a fraction of the price. Join the community of collectors on our Brakes GPT Facebook page and lock in your shot at hitting a humongous headliner on our site, brakesgpt.com. Folks, we're back in the second quarter of action. I'm Alex West. With me is Chad Rowland. In the booth, we've got Jacob Clear on stats and Cameron Irvine pushing the buttons.
Yep, gotta love the Brakes GPT guys.
Oh, you gotta pay the bills somehow, and they are definitely a big part of that. And with one of the most iconic commercials that I am still repeating, and I have to mute myself in the broadcast booth every time. First to 10, Johnny Reno with a 3-point lead. Will he pass or run? Nope, it'll be a run. Only the 11th carry for one Colin Hart. But let's get a game update. Cameron, what do we got on the other block?
Plenty of excitement, Alex. Thank you. Bossier City's at Vancouver tonight, down 10-0. Johnny Pickler, first play of the drive, wide open. Vin Callia, 80 yards to the house. Vancouver leads the Steamers 10-7 in a battle of teams with 3 losses. Back to you in Charleston.
Thanks so much, Cameron. What a big bomb to see there. Run to the right side for Knox, who gets to the line of scrimmage and pushes his way forward for just a little bit more. But I think that's them giving him the shoulder pads as credit.
Yeah, I'm going to say 2 things. One, that's a flashback of season 17, Pickler to Callia. But 2 as well, I mean, like I said, Minnesota is going to just keep this run game going. Let's just drain that clock, make that defense of Charleston tired.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Can you stop it on 3rd and 4? It'll be a pass, though. Reno looking over the middle. It deflected. The tip drill was wild, but no one comes up with it. It falls to the turf, and this is a 4th down for Minnesota.
Yeah, and this is another guy that I really like on this defense for Charleston is Ben Bowman. I mean, he just seems like he just makes plays, right, whenever he gets the opportunity, and almost had the interception right there.
Folks, you're watching Simulation Football League action here on the Virtual Football Network. This week on VFN will feature SFL tonight and Monday night, the UFL Tuesday and Thursday, and the SFLM playoffs on Thursday, and backed around to the SFL on Friday night. It's another week of nonstop action right here on the Virtual Football Network as we get a clipping call on that punt return that'll send what was a decent run all the way back.
Yeah, I mean, Britton looked like he had he had a nice little stiff arm there on Knox and was able to get it past the 30, maybe even to the 35. But because of that clipping right there that you can see, we're going to have to back it up a little bit here.
An otherwise scintillating special teams play goes straight in the rubbish bin, and Kopech takes over on the 18. See if he's got some attitude about it. Eye spread look here against a nickel front for the legend. Run to the left side. Hoagland gets eaten alive. Oh, mama, Stephen Black is that man.
Yeah, and Stephen Black, I mean, that is actually credited with his first tackle of the game right there. And it's a big one there as Charleston gets no gain on the run.
snuffing that out almost as soon as it could get started. We see Brad Taylor right in the backfield on the single back in motion. 3 receivers and Weapon X on the right side of the line. Kopech back to pass, throwing to the right side. No way, no how. There's just too much physicality from these linebackers that Minnesota has let loose on the field tonight. What are they feeding them? Are they feeding them? Some ravenous Sasquatches taking the field tonight in Charleston. Dare say they're on the loose. Kopech with 3 receivers to his right, looking, throws to his right. That's underneath route for Nick Twice. Or for Doug Spelling, who gets across there and makes the first down finally happen.
Yeah, just a nice little rollout here. Just a simple pitch and catch with Doug Spelling, able to break that first tackle, but didn't get much more after that. But the more important thing they got, Alex, is that first down.
First down has been a bit of a bugaboo for this squad. 21st in the league coming into this game. The handoff up the gut, all kinds of space, 9 yards gain. Brad Taylor Wright practically untouched until he saw the safety.
Yeah, and just, Brad Taylor Wright had a good run there. One of the first carries I believe he's gotten tonight so far.
What a way to make yourself felt. 2nd and 1 here. Will be a toss to the left side. Hoagland lowering the shoulder, giving him the forward credit, and they will give him another fresh set of downs. Charleston finally putting something together here. Really feels like they have made some adjustments at the half. Under center, Kopech is looking to his right for 2 receivers. Minnesota stacking the box, expecting a run. They are not having this run down their throat again. But Kopech sends his back out of the backfield. It's got to be a pass. Ian Francis is lined up wide. Kopech rolls to his right, but he's sacked! Too much time. He didn't listen to the alarm bells, and Chloe Meerkat gets her 2nd sack of the night.
Yeah, not sure exactly what the thought process was there by Kopech. I mean, he was able to get his running back out into the slot, but then the running back actually came back all the way to block and really didn't pick up any blocks on the way back there. So kind of a costly mistake there as they lost 5 yards on it.
Now with that 5-yard loss, they have to work for 2nd and 15 out of the nickel. Over the middle, it's a quick hitter route that somehow Xavier Solomon reels in on a practically looked like he was going to do a cartwheel.
Yep, and they get a short gain there. They get some of that yardage back, and they set up a maybe manageable 3rd and 7.
Kopech has to manage. He rolls to his right, fires, and it's almost intercepted. Once again, Legends getting their hands on it, bouncing from green gloves to green gloves. First person to touch it, I think, was Derek Meerkat, so give him that deflection.
Yeah, and then just, it was a nice play design. You roll out to the right. Kopech had all the time, and the decision that was made was probably not the best decision. She threw it in triple coverage.
Folks, we want the SFL to reach more people. Do you? The best way to do that is to smash that like button. Leave a comment on the video. Subscribe to the channel. You can help us reach all the people who need more football in their lives. Thank you for your support of the Virtual Football Network.
I also heard a rumor that if you smash that like button and you're going to the convention, Eddie Gage will grant you miles to get to Baltimore. He's got over 1 million of them.
Oh, wow. Over 1 million. That man could get anyone anywhere you want to be, even though he's not sponsored by Capital One. Reno throwing over the middle. And that's in one where he's just a little too far in front of his man, Jason Francis there. Or Jason France, who still has not been able to reel one in tonight. Johnny Reno's 3 of 7 with only 30 yards. And yet, it's all thanks to Colin Hart in the backfield. 2nd and 10 here. Trips receivers to the left. Single back, dime front. Charleston will not send the blitz. It's almost intercepted. The safety was back there. John Stamengo had that one thrown practically right at him. How do you miss that?
Yeah, I mean, that was just right in Stamengo's hands. I don't even know if he was prepared for it or not, the way he acted there, but when that play happens, you got to make it, but Stamengo still knocked it down either way.
3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the right. Reno will run it here. Colin Hart gets the handoff and picks up 3 yards. They must have been looking to catch Charleston flat-footed with the misdirection. No one
And
fell for it, though.
the crazy thing is, I mean, right now with the way that Minnesota has dominated the run game, but Charleston is only down 3 points and they've only given up 10. This is a very impressive defensive stance so far here by Charleston tonight.
And honestly, most of those yards have been on 2 big plays. The big hits gets levied. Jason Clay streaking down the field on special teams just sees a golden opportunity to take a shot at Doug Britton, who eats one.
Yeah, and Charleston is in this game because of a botched punt, right? And able to get 7 points off of that play. But this offense has got to help the defense here. You got to give them some time to rest and relax.
Both defenses putting up titanic efforts. Minnesota's points coming off of a great response. And there's another great defensive play. Derek Meerkat getting an interception and setting Minnesota up with incredible field position.
And that is the opposite of what I just said, right? I mean, I like the aggressiveness, don't get me wrong, but look where this is going here. I mean, there was 2 guys directly underneath him. Not sure what Kopech has been seeing tonight, but you don't throw to the white jerseys.
Kopech has been seeing tight windows, closing windows, and just in general, a lot of blitzes because he's 10 of 24 tonight. He has been unable to feel secure in that pocket. And this is the result. Reno with another opportunity, handing off instead to Robert Henson Jr., who picks up 8. Because, Johnny Reno's 3 of 8, but we really need to defend the pass.
I mean, I really like what they're doing with Robert Henson Jr., right? I mean, he's got 6 carries for 20 yards, but, I mean, they've just been really effective runs to set him up for like 2nd and short or 3rd and short.
It's been moments when you didn't think the run was coming, and so it was all the more effective. 2nd and 2 here, run to the right side for Colin Hart, who breaks 1 tackle, has lead blocks, spins around, but doesn't do the spinorama justice. This time he just gets enough to move the chains and then some. Leo Morris with the tackle.
I mean, that's a play that Dan Dash has to make, right? I mean, the defensive end, he's a veteran here. I mean, an opportunity to try to break down Colin Hart in the backfield and just Colin Hart able to just break another tackle. I mean, we talked about it. He is a power back at heart, and he showed it right there.
Power back at heart with 2 massive runs to his name, and now happy to just body blow after body blow as Reno throws up the seam and hits E.J. Minson in the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota.
Well, and that is retribution there, as E.J. Minson was the one who dropped that punt earlier and resulting in Charleston's only touchdown, just right down the middle. I mean, look at that. I mean, you had to stay playing deep, trying to keep it in front of him. Maybe should have been a little bit more aggressive on that, but Minson able to get the 6.
And what's even more impressive on that for me is how there's a safety of the end of that lurking, waiting. You know there's a bad man with awful intentions who's looking forward to seeing you, and EJ still comes up with that one as Melillo bangs the extra point home to make this a 10-point ball game. Minnesota out in front.
Yeah, and that's what I was mentioning. I mean, not sure if whoever that safety was playing deep just did not look like they had the aggressiveness needed, right? They should have been trying to meet the receiver right there to try to break that pass up.
Once again, that right to left wind looking very strong tonight. The big boot tending out of the end zone this time. So Kopech now down 10. It has to be passing, but he has struggled so far tonight. What can he do differently? We'll see if they've made some adjustment. Putting Doug Spelling in motion. Receivers on either side. Kopech rolls to the right on this pass. Throws to the right side. Hits his man. And that is a ball that is somehow snagged as it's about a foot off the ground. Doug Britton going to the ground to snag that one.
And maybe, head coach Jacob Clear is hearing the thoughts are running through my head right now. I'm in Kopech, 44% completion percentage so far up to this play right here. just try to work the short game, right? And, those quick throws that are going to be accurate and get completions.
Trying to simplify things for the young QB. Trying to get him into a rhythm, see if it helps. Only his third season so far. Relative young newcomer. Toss play to the right side for a... Welcome back to the Holy City. Charleston looking to take it, or Charleston looking to respond after some devastating blows by Minnesota to open up this into a proper two-score ball game. Kopech throwing to the flat, hitting his halfback, Hoagland. But say that 5 times fast, hitting his halfback, Hoagland. But that goes ultimately nowhere, 3rd and long.
Yeah, and I talked about it, like I said again, I mean, just trying to find that short game. But right now, I mean, in this situation, 3rd and long, you got to try to go deep here against this tough Minnesota secondary.
Minnesota secondary looking to man up this wide receiving core. 4 receivers, play action, throwing up the seam, and somehow, despite all the green gloves in the area, Michael Knight gets the stick-em out and snags that one from the skies.
Yeah, I mean, just great awareness there by Michael Knight, because it looked like there might have been tipped there a little bit, right? Nicholas Frostel was right there to make the big play, but Michael Knight just able to get that catch there and extend that drive here for Charleston.
Well, David Leathers and Nicholas Frostel in coverage on that one, but both of them boxed out. What a throw by Kopech, who tosses the right side. Whoa! Hoagland makes 2 men miss. The blockers are there. He throws out the stiff arm, but doesn't get anyone. Still, he gets across the 30-yard line.
And there we go. This is something that I've been hoping to see all night long, is getting that run game moving, right? Hoagland has the talent. He can do it. And right there was just a perfect drawn-up play at the right time. And now Minnesota's got to respect that a little bit. I mean, it is one run, right? But Minnesota has to now think about, oh, they can't run the football. We need to make sure we stay balanced.
The Preds faithful on their feet after the big offensive play. 1st and 10 for Kopech, who rolls to the right, takes the short look, and that is what you want to see. And the completion there is elementary. Doug Britton brings it in and gets out of bounds, 9-yard gain.
Yeah, just a nice play there. And now you're starting to see it, right? This is what Charleston needs to do. They need to get good positive yardage, not just 1 yard or just no gain or anything on 1st, 2nd down. They got to win 1st and 2nd down to set up and open up that playbook here.
Now on 2nd and 1 will be a toss to the right side for Hoagland, who throws the stiff arm to put one linebacker on his butt as he gets about 8 on that one.
Yeah, and I think that, Jacob Clear and that coaching staff really did a good job of adjustments in the 2nd half here, because the 1st half, I mean, the offense wasn't moving that much. Now you're looking at this 2nd half so far here in this 3rd quarter, and Charleston has looked pretty good.
It's a little frustrating that it took a couple of drives to get there, but relieving to finally see some signs of life from this Preds offense, operating inside of the red zone. Putting Spelling in motion, putting him out wide. Run to the right side, too many linebackers, but it doesn't matter. One broken tackle is all it takes. Ian Francis here with the fancy footwork and the extra effort.
Yeah, and this is exactly what I'm talking about, right? I'm going to say it over and over again, win first down. And what I mean for win first down is get at least 4 yards on that play to set up second and mid, and then hopefully set up either a first down or a third and short.
Second and mid from the 8-yard line. 4 yards up the gut makes it third and extremely manageable. Brad Taylor right there with the carry. Get your fours up in chat, folks. That is your third quarter in the books. With only 1 yard to go on third down, it's a goal line front from the legend who want to stop it at all costs. Toss to the left side, and there's too many bodies there. Hoagland cannot find the space. Johnny Bravo snuffs out the 3rd and 1, makes it 4th and Mr. Inches.
Yeah, interesting call there. I'm not a particular fan of being inside the 10 or even the 5-yard line and doing a toss play. And it shows right there why, right? I mean, Minnesota's front 7 is just so good and so fast. They can get those toss plays very quickly.
And after that 4th down, basically Charleston elects to take the points to try and make it a 1-score game. Cameron Duty bangs that one home. And folks, week 13 of season 24 continues tomorrow with the Monday Night Spectacular. This week, it's 2 postseason staples desperate to keep their playoff hopes alive, the Florida Storm and Arizona Scorpions. The action starts with Cam and Mike on SFL this week, recapping today's games at 7:15 Eastern, all right here on the Virtual Football Network. DJ Minson with another solid return. And that's something that he's had made himself quietly a name for with this Legends squad, is how often he gets it past the 30 on special teams.
Yeah, I mean, this is a team that Minson, even in free agency, he wanted to go there and be an opportunity. He's a big time receiver. He was in Florida. I mean, he was a 1 or a 2 receiver there in Florida, and to come here to Minnesota and drop down the depth chart a little bit, playing that special teams just shows you how dedicated he was to try to win.
Reno now only 1 full touchdown ahead, maybe feeling the hot breath on his neck coming out of a 3-receiver set. Minnesota will elect to run to Colin Hart. Nope, that's Robert Henson Jr. on the carry there, who gets stopped after 4, winning first down yet again. Chad?
I mean, that's what I'm saying, right? If you could get 4 yards every play after 3 plays, guess what? That's a first down. So you got to win those right there.
Simple math right there. Small numbers.
Simple math.
Hard to figure it out. 4-3 front from Charleston. Looking against an I front. Minnesota looking to chew clock, apparently, based on the play calling attitude so far. Up the gut for Hart, who gets across the line to gain just through sheer foot speed and determination. He hits those holes so fast.
Yeah, I mean, this is just what Colin Hart does, right? I mean, just, again, power back. You can sweep it to the outside, but that's where his true game is right there, just going straight north and south runner, able to get the first down and more.
Now with 3 receivers to the right, but they look to be for show. No, they're not. Reno throws to the left side. It's all misdirection. Instead of going to the right, he goes to the left. And there's his first completion to Deezer Powell for a quick 15.
Welcome to the game, Deezer Powell. First target, first catch. Just a simple route right there. Just finds the open hole, able to make the nice pitch and catch.
Now 3 receivers, a strong eye set spread. Reno looking to throw again. Looking for E.J. Minson again, almost intercepted. There was someone lurking there. Looks like it was Miranda Dumas who almost snacked it again.
Yeah, and they just tried to do a simple seam, like just trying to go straight down the middle with Minson, and he was heavily covered, and it was a great play there by the Charleston defense.
Frank Doom and Miranda Dumas, 2 excellent rookies. One the 8th round pick, or the 8th overall pick, the other the 13th overall pick, both making their names felt. Run to the right side for Hart, who breaks 1 tackle and pushes, stumbles, and forces his way forward to get even more. It's really been the Colin Hart show, and this is not the first time we've seen it. Minnesota is happy to lean on that man's shoulders.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, just setting up third is short, second is short every time with this run game.
Reno throwing on the short yardage again. Looking for Jason Francis, who still is without a catch, has that one bounce off his shoulder pads. 4th down for the Legend. What a disappointing turn of events for them.
Yeah, that's pretty shocking, right? 3 targets for Jason Francis. He's dropped all 3 of them. I mean, that's just something you just do not see every day from the veteran tight end.
Abnormal moment leads to a long kick from Melillo, who has the wind at his back, gets it up there, has plenty of leg, and gets it home. That's a 10-point ball game again off the foot of the Sasquatch.
Yep, and Minnesota, I mean, they're doing everything right, okay? And obviously Mickey Melillo's got one of the biggest legs in the SFL. It's pretty crazy because, you know, he's short in stature, but with one of the biggest legs. And so for him, you know, to get that 3 points, get Minnesota up. Now it's a 2-score game here right now. So let's see what their defense can do.
That 49-yarder would be Mickey's longest of this season so far. Not that he hasn't kicked similar field goals before, but this one is the longest so far in season 24. Now, this is a critical moment for Charleston. Not only do you have to score, you have to score fast, and you have to manage to stop on defense to get the ball back just to have a chance to play for the equalizer. This drive is essential.
I'm going to say what Eddie Gage always tells me every time we have a conversation, Alex. He usually says, Chad, you're absolutely right. And Alex, you're right.
When you're right, you're right. Looking to go wide is Doug Spelling. 2 receivers on either end. Kopech throwing over the middle once again. And it's a flag on the field. What are we seeing here? DPI. Let's see the replay on that one. I need to know how that happened.
Let's see here. I mean, yep. I mean, he was there before the ball was.
Now I have people who will say, no, that's not a flag. No, that's not a flag. As SFLM commissioner, I am no stranger to some suspicious flag. That one's blatant. You can't hit them that early, folks. You just can't do it.
Pressure coming, maybe.
First and 10 from the 40. Kopech looking to pass up the seam again. Happy to work his magic over the middle. Doug Britton has been his #1 target, his safety blanket. He's looked to him time and time again, and that's the 6th catch of the night.
Yeah, I mean, obviously when you're trying to find your top target, I mean, he is the guy, right? Doug Britton, 11 targets tonight so far for him, and you got to go to the hot hand. You got to go to the guy you know can catch the ball.
So gets the 4-3 front, Minnesota broadcast blitz, but doesn't. Pulls him back. The throw is to the left side, however, and Weapon X gets 5 on the simple out route.
Yeah, I mean, and that's a guy that I mean, he's got 7 targets. He's only got 3 catches so far, so you know, has dropped a few or had some deflected. But that's a guy they need to get majorly involved as well as David Solomon.
Lots of legend at the line of scrimmage, and the blitz is coming. That will swallow up the attempt to run just because Stephen Black is exactly in that C gap that opened up.
Yeah, I mean, just absolutely. You talked about, I mean, there's a lot of legend there on the front line. There's a reason why. They knew the run was coming and they were able to stop it.
It's now on 3rd and 4. It will be a pass to Kopech, who fires to one-on-one coverage. And there it is. Doug Spelling gets one over in one of the most crucial moments to keep Charleston's hopes alive.
I mean, you want to talk about a guy, I mean, we talk about Doug Britton able to just make catches and stuff. I mean, right now, Doug Spelling catches 75% of his targets tonight, and that's a guy that's very sure-handed.
Doug and Doug are the two big threats for Charleston so far tonight. Spelling that time getting one over on David Leathers, the 2-time All-Star, in a narrow moment. Rolling to the left is Kopech. Looking up the seam, there's a deflection, an almost picked off. Matthew Alvarado almost volleyball tipped that one to where Derek Meerkat could have received it. Instead, it falls to the turf, and Charleston exhales collectively. Now on second down, Kopech has that 2 tight end formation on the right side with 2 receivers on either side. Looking to pass again. Blitz coming. He throws over the middle. Just barely getting it to Doug. But which Doug? It's Spelling, of course. 5 yards gained when it looked like it was going to be a 5-yard loss because of the absolute heat coming from Stephon Forge. The former Nightwing cannot get home in time. 3rd and 5, split pro formation. Or spread pro against the nickel. It'll be a pass again. Kopech is firing, and he's hitting the man in space. Michael Knight finds the soft spot in the zone to set up 1st and goal.
Yeah, I mean, just exactly what you said right there, Alex. I mean, he just went on a route looking for the soft spot. It was open in the middle, and he just takes advantage of it. And I'm in Kopech. I mean, right now in this drive, he is making Charleston move down the field. This is a big opportunity for them to get this lead cut this lead even closer.
Doug Spelling has been a force in this drive, this time with the arrow, but this time it's in another direction to make a difference. This is Hoagland to the right side, who throws the stiff arm, puts Derek Meerkat on his back, but Dill gets escorted out of bounds for the 2nd down. If he could have stayed in bounds there, there's no one that could have stopped him from marching in.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if he was able to break that tackle and just go forward, he would have been all right. But Meerkat making the nice play, even though he was technically beat, he still was able to get him to go out of bounds.
Now with all kinds of bodies in the box, the Legend have so little field they have to defend from the 6.5. Charleston will toss to the left side. Hoagland with space, leaning forwards, but he can't get to the end zone. Throws the shoulder down, but stopped short. 3rd and goal from the 1.
Yeah, but I talked about those type of plays not being my favorite, but I mean, Hoagland was almost able to make that work.
All kinds of bodies on the line. It's going to be a car crash. 3rd and goal from the 2. Will it be a run, or is Kopech actually going to pass this? Weapon X in motion. Clock ticking down. It will be a toss to the left side. Eaton in the backfield. Nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Just too many people on the blitz. Stephon Forge blows that one up.
Yeah, wanting to put my coach's hat on, take the toss plays out of these formations. They just don't work, and there's a prime example of why, right? Especially when you're inside the 5-yard line. It's just it takes too long to develop, especially when you got a guy like Nick Hoagland who's not a speed guy. So having that right there in that play, not sure if that's the best idea for Charleston going forward.
So they call upon Cameron Duty to put them within 1 score again, electing to take the 3 rather than try and forcing the 7. Charleston now down with an onside kick here. Both teams have all 3 timeouts. Duty bouncing it around. It will be picked up with ease. There's no question in my mind that whenever it's in Deezer Powell's vicinity, those mitts are going to reach out to snag it.
Yeah, not too sure if I like the idea of doing the onside kick right there. I mean, your defense has played pretty decent tonight. I mean, you've only given up 20 points on them so far. I know it's going to become the Colin Hart show, but I wouldn't mind seeing him kick it deep.
Now let's see if Charleston also reacts to it being most likely the Colin Hart show. It will be a run for Colin Hart, who has all kinds of space. Charleston does not pack the box. They elect for a soft 4-3 where the safeties are high, and Colin marches up the middle for 8 on 1st down. Are you kidding?
Yeah, I mean, this is what we said. It's going to become the Colin Hart show, right? Or just run the ball. But, I mean, and with all due, I mean, it's just what they're going to be able to do, right? Colin Hart over 150 yards tonight. He is really just showing why he is a premier player in this league.
4-3 front again. This time it's Knox in the backfield with Henson Jr. paving the way. They will elect to take as much time off the clock as they can. This time met in the hole. It's a 1.5 yards gain, but Jamal Ballard stands tall and says, no, I may be a rookie. I don't care who you are. I'm hitting you in the Oklahoma drill.
Yeah, and Jamal Ballard, I mean, second round pick, as you mentioned. I mean, really the draft class that Charleston had brought some quality defensive players, right? I mean, you talked about Frank Dune, you talked about Miranda Dumas. Now you got Jamal Ballard mixed in there as well from that second round, and they've made some plays tonight.
All three of them now on 3rd and inches. Who will make the big play? Will it be Colin Hart? Will it be a Charleston defender? Blitz coming, Hart on the right side, gets his way across the first down marker, and that will make us go to the 2-minute warning, whether Charleston likes it or not. Minnesota inside the red zone, just trying to put this one to bed.
Yep, and that's where I think maybe they should have maybe kicked it deep. I mean, they got the first down, so it wouldn't have mattered. But if they were able to make that stop, Minnesota would have been able to kick 3 instead of punting it away.
Coulda, shoulda, woulda is going to haunt this team all night long and for the week to come. 2-minute warning, folks. Minnesota's trying to put Charleston in a chokehold. From the 11, or from the 16, excuse me. Colin Hart will take the handoff and gets about 3, breaks one tackle, bounces his way into another one. First timeout for Charleston called.
Yeah, and you know, they're going to have to burn them timeouts. I mean, if Minnesota gets another first down, I mean, this game is pretty much all but locked.
Feels like it might be all but locked in either case, even if they just can't force a turnover here, barring a miracle. But it'll be a handoff up the gut for Colin Hart, who's looking to deny any such miracles. Another timeout called here. And let's talk about this for a second. Charleston already out of the playoffs. Minnesota, should they win this, should this score hold, advances to 7-4, and they are in control of their own destiny, trying to seal the division as long as they can manage to win out.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely.
Hand off to the right side for Hart, who does pick up that first down, and there's the last timeout for Charleston. Could be kneel downs, could be handoffs, but from the 3-yard line, who even cares? This one is the Legends.
Yeah, I mean, with this win tonight, Minnesota, I believe, does take over the Central Division lead going late into the season.
They will indeed. Technically, Denver is only a half game behind. It is a delicate situation where there's still bye weeks to be played. Speaking of bye weeks, next week Minnesota is on a bye week. Their final game of the season is week 15 against the Sin City Samurai, visiting, oh goodness, I believe it's the Temple of Eight Fires. I don't remember the name of that stadium, but it's really cool design.
Yeah, I've been to Sid City a couple times, and it's always a nice stadium to go to and call games.
Now victory formation for Johnny Reno, looking to wrap this one up and put it all to bed. Folks, it's been a pleasure being out here with you. This has been such a defensive ball game, and yet it has not been a snooze fest. Both offenses trying their best, putting their best foots forward, and yet it's been Johnny Reno only managed 5 completions tonight. What?
Yeah, I mean, they really didn't have lines. Yeah, they didn't have to throw the ball very much, right? I mean, it was the Colin Hart show. But one thing I want to give credit to, and obviously, you know, the score is really close, and so people are going to say this is a really good game, and it was. But Charleston's defense came to play. I mean, this is something I want to break down here. Charleston, 21st scoring defense. They give up 25.5 points a game. They're 10th against the pass, 17th against the run. And granted, yes, Colin Hart got his, but I mean, they only held Minnesota to 20 points, right? Minnesota usually averages 23, 24 points a game. So you got to give credit to Charleston's defense at home. I mean, they played them really well.
Credit where it's due, but as much credit as we can give, it's still ultimately in a losing effort. Charleston falls to 3-8 at home. And there is your final. Minnesota 20, Charleston 13. Outside of Colin Hart, can we really pick someone else for a game ball? Can we? I would like to.
I would like to, but it doesn't really need to go anywhere else. I think Colin Hart is the guy. 20 carries, 172 yards, and a touchdown. Ended up with just over 8.5 yards per carry. I mean, he was just dominant all night long.
hard to put it anywhere else, especially when you see those kinds of eye-popping, jaw-dropping numbers. More rushing yards than there are receiving yards on any receiver. More rushing yards than there are receiving yards for his entire team. Colin Hart was a monster tonight and a half. Folks, this has been a pleasure. We love having you here in the SFL and Football Network. I have been Alex West. With me has been Chad Rowland, and the solo wonder Jacob Clear in the stats booth. And for Commissioner Cameron Irvine, thank you so much for coming out. Have a great one.